I'm here with Elizabeth Macdonnell, who's from the Montreal Children's Library, and she's a storyteller, and she has a story to share with us today. What's your story?
It's a story about a monkey who thought he wanted misery, and then he discovered the truth. There was an old woman, and she lived in the forest, and she had many, many beehives. And when she had harvested all the honey, why, she had pots of honey, she had barrels of honey. You can't believe how much honey she had. She kept a lot for herself, but she always took some to market to sell. And one day she set off for the market, and she was carrying the pot of honey on her head. Now, she didn't know it, but there was a little monkey sitting up in a tree, and he was fascinated by what she was doing. All of a sudden, the woman tripped over a tree root, and she fell. And the pot fell off her head and smashed all over the ground. And the woman was beside herself, and she kept saying, "Oh, what misery, what misery! Oh, Papa God, how could you bring me all this misery?" But there was nothing for it, so the woman had to go home. Misery, thought the monkey. I wonder what is misery? So he came down the tree, and he, just as most animals do, he thought he would taste it to find out. So he put his little finger into the honey that had spread on the ground, and he tasted it. This was wonderful. He had had no idea that misery could be so sweet. Well, he stuck both his hands into it, and he was licking his fingers, and then he was licking all the honey off the shards that were left from the broken pot. And he thought, "I want more misery. I want a lot more misery." And he thought, where will I find it? How will I ask? And he thought, I'll go to Papa God. So little monkey went up to Papa God, and he said, "Papa God, can you give me misery?" "I beg your pardon," said Papa God. "Misery? What do you want, a little monkey like you?" "Oh, please, Papa God, I've tasted misery, and it's so sweet. Couldn't I please have some more?" "Are you sure that's what you want?" said Papa God. "Oh, yes, Papa God, it really is." "Well, then you just wait right here, little monkey, and I'll be back." Well, Papa God was gone for a little while, but when he came back, he had an enormous sack, and he handed it to little monkey, and he said, "Now, little monkey, you take this sack and you walk as far as you can until you find a place where there are no trees. Remember, no trees." "Oh, yes, Papa God," said the monkey. So he walked and he walked and he walked till he came to a big desert. And then he ran right into the middle of the desert where there were absolutely no trees. And then he opened the sack, and oh my goodness, there was misery. 7 dogs leapt out of the sack, and little monkey began to run. He ran as fast as he could, and the 7 dogs were running after him, and he could feel their hot breath on his neck. He was running as fast as he could, and then suddenly he realized he couldn't run any faster. And just at that moment, a tree appeared right in front of little monkey, and he ran up that tree as fast as he could, and he looked down through the branches, and there were the 7 dogs, but they couldn't reach him. So little monkey was saved. And who do you think put that tree in the middle of the desert? Well, I think it was Papa God, because he knew that much misery was too much even for a little monkey.